More news now from where you live. A man's been charged in connection with the death of a woman who was found collapsed behind shops in Ipswich. The woman in her 40s was discovered behind stores in Cambridge Drive on Wednesday evening. She was taken to Ipswich Hospital, but she died this morning. 44-year-old Michael Smith appeared before South East Suffolk Magistrates Court today, where he pleaded not guilty to supplying heroin.
Postal workers in Essex are staging a 24-hour walkout in a dispute over working conditions. Around 40 people picketed the sorting office in Basildon this morning. It's part of a series of strikes across the region by the Communication Workers Union. Workers at Peterborough were among the first to strike last Friday. Royal Mail says the union is refusing to cooperate with modernisation plans.
We want to highlight to the public today the real intolerable conditions that decent postmen and postwomen are suffering up and down this country. And all we would urge is that Royal Mail go back to the negotiating table and conclude an agreement that they started back in 2007.
A pensioner from Norfolk awarded the MBE for his charity work with children has denied sexually abusing boys in his care.
70-year-old Harry Day from North Walsham near Norwich is accused of more than 20 offences relating to indecency with young boys. From Norwich Crown Court, here's Malcolm Robertson.
Henry Day, MBE, a man who says he's given all his life to helping others. A man of honour and integrity, he said. A man who's also accused of serious allegations against young boys. For years, Mr Day, known to many as Harry Day, ran the Young Citizens Guild at Hemsby on the Norfolk coast, arranging summer camps in his quest to make youngsters upstanding members of the community. Harry Day has been in the witness box for 3 days now, being questioned about the allegations against him. He admitted that boys did sleep in his caravan. Questioned by his barrister whether there'd been any sexual activity with them or whether he'd sexually abused them, he repeatedly answered, "Certainly not." He's denied 21 charges relating to indecency against young boys. Earlier this week, the judge directed the jury to find him not guilty on a charge of incitement. 5 years ago, Mr Day was presented with the MBE by the Queen in recognition of his voluntary work. He rejected prosecution claims he'd systematically abused boys in his care for almost 30 years. Cross-examined, he was asked why in a police statement soon after his arrest that he'd said he hadn't allowed children to stay in his caravan. "You're a liar, aren't you?" the prosecuting counsel, Andrew Shaw, said to him. "No, I'm not, thank you," he replied. One by one, Mr Shaw read out a list of boys allegedly abused by him. "There's no abuse, and there never has been any abuse," Mr Day said. The prosecution claimed that he bribed boys with cash and gifts, confident that no one would believe them against him, a man with all the right connections, and that he hid his insatiable sexual appetite for boys behind the respected front of the Young Citizens Guild. To all these allegations, he said, "Not true." The trial resumes on Monday. Malcolm Robertson, Anglia News, Norwich Crown Court.
More than 40 jobs are to be cut at a leading Norfolk research centre as part of a plan to save £1.5 million. The Institute of Food Research at Norwich Research Park in Colney is struggling with increasing costs and funding cuts. Prospect, the union representing scientists there, condemned the decision, saying the centre's future was in jeopardy.
Meanwhile, nearly 70 jobs have been saved at a Suffolk haulier business after a buyer was found. Legates Transport at Woolpit near Bury St Edmunds went into administration last month, despite staff agreeing to a 10% pay cut aimed at staving off redundancy. Its assets have now been sold to Marmex Limited.
Some more football now, and Ipswich play their first home game of the new season this weekend, as do Peterborough United.
Right, can they follow up their midweek Carling Cup wins with their first success in the Championship? Donovan Blake is back again, this time starting our Friday preview at Portman Road.
Ipswich's opening home game is a special one for skipper Gareth Macaulay as he faces his old club Leicester for the first time since leaving just over a year ago. But 5 goals conceded in 2 games does give manager Roy Keane some cause for concern, certainly with Leicester high on confidence after promotion and 2 wins to start the campaign.
We certainly need to defend better, and 1 or 2 individuals, we're certainly made aware of that, and they'll get an opportunity to make up for it tomorrow.
Peterborough are ready for their first home game in the second tier of English football for 15 years. Sheffield Wednesday the visitors, with manager Darren Ferguson hoping his players have learned from the mistakes which cost them at Derby. Grant Holt's midweek Carling Cup hat-trick for Norwich at Yeovil showed how teams can respond after a heavy defeat. Question is, how do they react now following tonight's shock dismissal of manager Brian Gunn? Ian Butterworth will be in charge against Exeter. Clive Platt will be missing for Colchester against Yeovil as they tried to find a response to their Carling Cup exit. He was sent off against Leyton Orient. And Southend are on the road again. They visit Walsall looking for their 4th win in 5 meetings, home and away. Donovan Blake, Anglia News.
The former Barclays Bank building in Norwich is to be unveiled as the new venue for a new alcohol-free nightclub for the under-18s. Open Youth Trust will host nights every other Friday at the newly unveiled youth venue in the city's Bank Plain. It's hoped the 460-capacity club will provide a safe experience for young people.